Hello, every Mustang fan out there. I want you to know that you're joining us on a very special Mustang Owners podcast. I'm your host, John Clore, along with my co-host, Mike Ray. And why is it special? Because this podcast is your podcast. This, Mike, is one of our favorite things. It's a mailbag podcast.
Yeah, I really love these, and hearing from everybody that they actually take the time to write in and talk to us to give us some discussion topics.
All right, so all of you who write in, we do read all of your comments. You put a comment up in the comment section. We read those. We try to answer as many of those questions as we can. And every once in a while, it gets too full, and we feel we want to pay attention to everybody, and we care about what you have to say. So we will read some of the mail, and if we can help you out, great. If we can't, we'll tell you why. And so just keep on sending them in, either in the comments or to me, jclor, C-L-O-R, at carsincontext.com. And Mike, we got some doozies this week. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, Mike, whenever I get something that has a question mark on it, I'm going to let you handle it.
Can't wait.
All right, here's one that says, all it said in the subject line of the email was AWD S650 question mark.
Oh boy. Yeah. Didn't we answer this in Wisconsin? I think we did.
I think we might have. All right. This one says, "Hi, Mike and John. I love your podcast. You guys should have 1 million subscribers with your content."
Well, help us out. Let's get there. I want to get there by the end of the week.
You ready? All right, we're ready. Get going. Get moving out there. Sure. Anyway, it says, "I heard that you guys say you don't want to take questions about future product, which is a shame."
It's not that we don't want to. We're not allowed to.
He says, "I know that with your connections, you guys know more than you're letting on." It's not that, Mike. Sometimes we can't be talking out of school. That's all.
Right. Yeah, anyway, absolutely.
This is anyway. That's why I want you guys to comment on a report that I saw on Ford Authority. And Mike, I read it all the time. I'm sure you do. And no, it's not about the much discussed four-door variant of the Mustang. Good, because we're not going to talk about that either.
Yeah.
All right. It says, rather, it's the rumored all-wheel drive model, which would interest many fans up here in the Northeast. So apparently he's up in the Northeast. It says, Ford Authority said the S650 has space limitations to adapt an all-wheel drive platform, and one idea was to add electric motors to the front axle or the wheels, effectively creating an all-wheel drive on the S650. He said it would be a hybrid that way, which they've talked about. Because Mike is such a good friend of the now retired Mustang chief engineer Dave Parasak, my question is, did Dave Parasak ever tell Mike about an all-wheel drive system on the S550? Signed, Bill T. in Providence, Rhode Island. So Mike, did Dave Parasak come up to you and tell you all about future product?
Cannot speak about future product is the official answer. And no, Dave has never shared anything with me before it came out. Once it came out, I can hear some backstories, but never before a product was out did he ever share any info.
That's why we're still their friends. They can trust us when you sign a non-disclosure.
We are walking NDAs for Ford Motor Company for sure.
So it's a good question. And, it makes sense if they're going to do a Ford. I would say if they're going to do a Ford or a Mustang, there's no room under that. Go look under your S550, Mike, or your S650. There's no room under there. So if you made a four-door and you stretched it, would you get more? That's when you got to mess with the platform. That would make sense to do a hybrid then, to do an all-wheel drive, but not off this current. I don't see it because you got to mess with. That's money. That's engineering money. So if they're going to do a four-door, that's the time if you want to do a hybrid. That makes sense, but I don't see it. Not on the current car, Mike.
No.
Anyway, but thanks for not asking a future product question.
Well, I got a feeling another one's coming.
All right, here's one. This is John and Mike. This is just a quick one. How do you guys determine where you go to do a podcast from Car Show? I know lots of shows who'd like to have you come out to do a show. What are the parameters to get you invited? Signed, Tommy D. of Port Richey, Florida. So how do you decide?
Well, it's Florida, we're in.
So, Mike, tell them why we're not driving around the country doing car shows.
Yeah, if it's in Florida, I'm definitely in. It's my favorite state. I would love to go down there. I've done many shows in Florida before. But yeah, I mean, it all depends, right? Do we have a videographer with us? What's the weather going to be like? What's the venue going to be like? How would our setup look? How would it be advertised? Are we going to be able to draw a crowd or of 100, or are we going to have 3 people there? So all
Yeah.
those factors come into play, and then we kind of make the educated decision at that point, and then try to pick our shows. But we do try to spread ourselves around the country as much as possible when time allows us.
Yeah, and we both work, and we're doing this on the side. We're not.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to hire us and take over the podcast and pay us full time, we'll go anywhere you want all year long.
Contact me if you'd like to get involved in investing in the Mustang Owners Podcast to be a sponsor.
Yes.
Because once we blow up and we make Simon Ford Man or Vice Grip Garage look like peanuts. Once we get that big, we'll be able to have you, and we'll be able to afford to go to out of state. But right now, with trying to find if you're a videographer who's going to be in a certain area and you can supply video for us. Sometimes it's hard to drag people around. Our current videographer has a job and a life too. So
and expenses always matter.
Yeah, and so we've gone places where we've had help from Joe Deladvich in Carlisle, who did a lot of photos for Ford Performance, from Jeff Black at the Haldeman Barn, Dan Brockstein now. So it's hard to get that all set up. So we don't generally go around to car shows. A lot of people send us their stuff that we're familiar with so we can talk to it. But if you have an idea, if you have a sponsorship you'd like to get involved, or you want to be a videographer for the podcast, send it to us, jclore, carsandcontext.com. We'll put you on our list. In Florida, Mike, I'm with you as long as it's not August.
Yes, I'm in. Yeah, let's do like February, March. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, don't do it to us, folks, because Mike Ray will be at somebody's training camp somewhere.
Yes, late March, please, so we can throw in a spring training game. Yes.
I'll be doing a solo out of the podcast tent because Mike's at spring training. Okay, Mike, this one came to, oh, geez. Okay.
This is our favorite write-in?
Yeah.
I love them.
Okay. This one was entitled No More Boring Cars. Now, we know that was a statement that was made by Ford CEO when they decided to quit making edges and escapes. And that was their reasoning, no more boring cars. So I have a feeling that this podcast, he claims to be our number one podcast fan.
I would say he's definitely number one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, guys, just a comment. He said, when Jim Farley saying number one rule at Ford is now no boring products, it's a huge, uneducated and uninspired guess on my part that the promotion of cars as a whole nowadays is just a force-fed crapshoot. So he doesn't believe that you can sell cars like Escapes or Edges unless they're exciting. I think I know what's coming here.
Are you speaking about old cars that don't exist anymore?
Yeah, I mean, all the brands that are great within Ford, and those not all of them were exciting. Some of them were dependable, some of them were affordable, some of them were just beautiful, pretty, some were, but they're all fun to drive. He says if something isn't trending at the moment, you just make something up. Influencers are trending, relevant. They're all today's buzzwords that are meant to fill in the voids of authenticity, foundation, and earned values. If Ford wants to spin plates on sticks and don't care about that the plates fall back and break, then what do you have? To never look back, to keep pushing ahead with new stuff without a clear direction? If Ford only knew how to tap into 61 years of Mustang heritage in the right way. If they only knew that. Signed, Paul Newitt from sunny California. So Paul doesn't believe Ford is marketing their products the right way or the Mustang the right way. What do you guys think? You think Paul is crazy?
John, they don't make brochures anymore. Everything's online. There's no more. You can't walk into a dealership and get a paper brochure on any vehicle anymore.
Yeah, you can't walk home. So Paul is missing a lot. He said they're not marketing these things right. Share your ideas. If you believe that what Paul has to say is correct, is Ford missing the boat? Do we need every product to be exciting or boring? I don't believe. There was some nice Edge STs I saw, but good idea, Paul. Thanks for your comment as usual. And Mike, you're going to be sure you're going to get plenty in your inbox. All right,
I love talking to Paul. We talk weekly, so.
Oh, here's somebody you also know. This says, hey, you guys, just a question. Have you guys ever considered having a tech episode or two? I say that because when I get my Mustang Times each month, I first turn to John Clore's column, and then I turn to Jim Smart's. Just an idea. Now, in case you're out in the MCA You don't get the column. I write a column there every month, but Jim Smart writes a tech column because Jim Smart is smart. He takes stuff apart and then he tries to put it back together. He writes tech columns, Mike, about first gen stuff right up to, the late model stuff. And it's signed Mark Bedell from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Mike, what do you think? What do you think out there? A tech column? We often will get smart.
Yeah, and I can't wait to have Jim back on again. He's going to be, he's going to keep coming on with us multiple times a year. Great guy, huge knowledge, and just very well respected in the hobby and the community. And yeah, he's going to be on, John. I'm guessing probably at least once every other month or so with us.
Oh yeah, he just texted me and he emailed me a couple of times saying, "Hey, why are you guys already at car shows? Let's get back on and do some podcasts." He doesn't.
Yes.
We've been on the road too much, Mike, but he wants to be.
Yeah, he reached out to me last week as well. Yeah.
So what do you think, Mike? Would tech put people to sleep? I mean, would they like to? We could put pictures up of what he's talking about. Jim's very knowledgeable, and would a tech column, maybe if it's something that's pretty common that everybody wants to know, maybe we should. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe that, or we're talking about some other ideas too for new formats and stuff for the podcast itself, where there would be some extra ones that you would, if you were a subscribing member or something like that, you would get. That might be something to look into as well for that area.
Well, I think that's a great question, and folks, that's exactly why we love the mailbag. Not only will you give us ideas and we'll investigate will that work as a podcast, but another thing, Mike, is it gives people the chance to comment on it. Maybe if enough people can say, here's what you should do a tech column on, because then we'll know what's on their minds. What are they working on in their car right now? What's a problem for them? What would they like Jim Smart to go over for a podcast? And for some of you that listen, you can listen to it and say, yeah, that's true, or throw in a comment. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, Jim will bring pictures out. And I think maybe we should do it, Mike.
Yeah, we can try one for sure. Let's see what the feedback is.
Okay. And, I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. It's been many years. I was, at one time, a state licensed mechanic in the state of Michigan in 1974.
I was state licensed in brakes in 1989.
Yeah, I did. I was brakes, and I did general tune-up. They had like a general repair. But the reason I didn't re-up is when I started taking classes at Wayne, they wanted like $40 for every section. Remember? That $40 back then was a ton of money. You could buy a new tire for $40.
And now, if I get down to do brakes or anything like that, I'm not getting back up because my back's in bad shape.
Now, though, if you look at working on your late model car, all you need is like a schematic of modules, a laptop, and you need the service. I mean, it's not like getting greasy anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, the right to repair law is really coming in. A lot of people, you can't change the brakes because if it's not in service mode, we have a emergency brake now that instead of pulling it and holds the cable, it's a motor, and the motor locks the back. You can't do your own back brakes on it like a Lincoln because so you gotta get the subscription from Ford or the Special Tools, $500 a month just to unlock the brakes so you can take the rotors off. It's like, why did you need a module to grab? Yeah. What was wrong with you pull the handle, and the wire pulled the.
Yeah.
Everything is a module. So anyway, good questions. Thank you. We'll do a module on a tech issue. We'll do that. Thanks for all your suggestions. So make sure you like and subscribe. That's the bottom line, Mike. We can do a lot more. The more people get on and share it with their friends, we'll do more. And I think a tech session would be a good idea for the rest of you. Throw the ideas in the comments. It's not just our ideas. It's your fellow Mustangers out there that are throwing these ideas around. Let us hear what you think. So until then, Mike, make sure they like and subscribe. Thanks for your time again with that mailbag. I'll send you all the tough ones, except for future product.
Yes.
So until next time, folks, thanks again. We'll just have to catch you down the road.